Let's dive right into this explainer and explore a mind-bending concept from our source material. We're talking about a system where macroeconomics, cutting-edge cryptography, and literally the everyday physical cash in your pocket collide to completely rewrite the rules of global power. Now, consider this rather provocative premise. What if the cash in your wallet was mathematically immune to being stolen? Like, no mugger could ever take it. Think about it for a second. Physical cash has always been the ultimate anonymous, untraceable asset. If somebody grabs it, well, it's gone. But the material we're looking at today details a microscopic technological upgrade to paper money that would completely destroy that anonymity, permanently altering the fabric of crime and economics.
Section 1. The new technological standard. To understand how that's even possible, we first have to look at the macroeconomic foundation of our world today.
According to the sources, we're rapidly moving away from the old gold standard and toward what's called a technological standard. And this new standard relies on three main pillars. First up, unbreakable, totally auditable money. Second, a massive global internet and cloud storage infrastructure. And third, AI and automation interfaces. In this new framework, uncounterfeitable money becomes the master key. You literally can't access those advanced cloud or AI tools without paying the toll in this unbreakable currency. And this brings us to an absolutely crucial theory from the text. If you can make a currency physically flawless and completely immune to forgery, the entire global ecosystem just falls into place. The US dollar ceases to be just a piece of paper or a boring accounting entry. It actually becomes the mandatory subscription cost to access the world's technological operating system. Section 2, the evolution of cash. So, how exactly do we turn a dumb piece of paper into a highly secure node on a global network? Enter the GPC, or Circular Parametric Glyph. You can essentially think of this as the DRM, the digital rights management, but for physical money. It is a microscopic geometric code printed right onto the bill. But here's the kicker. Instead of scanning it with some clunky, expensive ATM or bank machine, it's designed to be read using the standard video camera right on your everyday smartphone. The really crucial point here is how this totally outclasses the traditional QR code. While a QR code is just a static, easily copied grid that holds barely any data, the GPC uses dynamic video capture. It's actually fascinating. It harnesses the natural, tiny microtremors in your hand while you're holding your phone to capture multiple frames of video. That allows the software to mathematically reconstruct dense, uncopyable geometry that a standard static photo could literally never capture. By using video instead of a single photo, the GPC totally bypasses the physical limitations of cheap phone cameras, things like light diffraction or the Rayleigh limit. If you're not familiar, the Rayleigh limit is basically the physical point where light naturally starts blurring in a camera lens. The software just mathematically cancels out all that visual noise. What that means is a single physical bill can securely hold up to a whole megabyte of data right there in the ink. That is enough storage for complex rules, translation dictionaries, or even the bill's entire topological history. Section 3, the end of crime. Okay, let's bring this down to the streets and see where this theory gets incredibly practical for the average person. Imagine you're being robbed, and the attacker demands your cash. Under this system, there's a voice-activated silent SOS. You just speak a natural, preset panic phrase while validating the cash handover. You might say something like, "Transfer for the red paint." The app hears this, immediately displays a fake success screen to trick the thief into thinking they got your money, but silently sets a digital trap right in the central ledger. And what's really brilliant about this silent trap is the result. The money instantly becomes radioactive. Boom. The criminal's anonymity is completely destroyed. The very second they try to spend that stolen, marked cash at a store, the system rejects it, triangulates their exact GPS coordinates, and turns that stolen paper into an active beacon for law enforcement. Stealing literally becomes a mathematically useless act. Section 4, Seigniorage Capture. Now we're going to zoom out from the individual level to the global stage, where this technology completely changes the geopolitical game. To put things into perspective, it's estimated that more than half of all physical US $100 bills are circulating entirely offshore. That's a massive amount of cash operating out there in shadow economies, totally untracked, and highly susceptible to state-sponsored counterfeiting. Our sources highlight a major battle here between what they call phantom money and legitimate liquidity. Foreign counterfeits and untracked offshore cash act as phantom money. It just bleeds US economic value. But if a country implements the GPC standard we just talked about, they instantly create legitimate, audited liquidity.
Every single scan at a point of sale verifies the bill, enforces tax compliance, and instantly destroys the value of any fake currency floating around in that shadow economy. All of this builds into what the sources describe as the geopolitical trap. By instantly voiding all that untracked counterfeit offshore money through this simple tech upgrade, the US creates a massive global liquidity shock. Suddenly, the whole world has this desperate demand for legitimate, scannable dollars just to keep their local economies running. This forces foreign nations to go out and purchase real American debt, which effectively stabilizes the US deficit without causing internal inflation. It is an absolute masterstroke of systemic engineering.
Section 5, the financial panopticon. But right here is where we encounter the twist. We have to look at the heavy price paid for this frictionless, crime-free utopia.
So, to ensure your money isn't fake or stolen, you absolutely must scan it. But every single time you do this shadow economy handshake at the register, meaning you scan both the product and the bill, the system permanently maps your transaction. It ties the exact GPS coordinate, the timestamp, and your personal identity to that specific piece of paper. This algorithmically formalizes the entire informal cash economy. You literally cannot spend a dime without the central database knowing exactly where you are, when it happened, and what you bought. As the source material objectively points out, the real power here isn't about state coercion. No, it is an inescapable mathematical architecture. People aren't being forced at gunpoint to use the scanning app. They use it because if they don't, they risk accepting worthless, unverified bills. The system imposes itself through pure economic gravity. You either participate or your money is literally useless. It's the ultimate paradox presented in our sources. Total financial tracking is achieved not through some obvious tyranny, but disguised as the ultimate personal security. The public willingly adopts the surveillance system just to protect themselves from muggers and counterfeiters. In doing so, they're effectively acting as the voluntary architects of their own monitoring. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to take away from today's explainer. In a world where crime is mathematically impossible and your money can absolutely never be stolen, is the sacrifice of your absolute privacy worth the price? It's a truly fascinating look at where macroeconomics, cryptography, and our daily lives might be heading. Thanks for joining me to unpack this concept, and I hope this provided a clear, focused understanding of the systems that could shape our future. See you next time.